Alright, so what the heck is a motif?
I don't know.
Alright, well, let's go to Google and let's find out. Hold on. Alright, cool. Alright, so this is it. This is the Shakespeare for Gen Z kids.
I like that. You said Z, not Z.
Exactly.
Because we're Canadians.
Canadians.
All right.
Alright, so this is our motif project, and I know it's taken a long time to get here.
A long time.
But it's finally here.
And it'll be worth it, hopefully.
Hopefully. And hopefully you give us the opportunity to redo it. It's absolute garbage. But, fine. Let's just get into this. So we're in near like the final scene of the book. Close to it.
We skipped ahead a little bit.
Yeah, we skipped ahead a little bit. We're jumping right at the end of the movie. Alright, here's what happens. The end of the movie and the book.
Same thing happens in both. That's actually pretty accurate.
I know, yeah. They usually don't change that in Macbeth. They don't change the lines. Anyways, that's off topic. Let's get into this. So Macduff is all like,
my voice is on my sword.
And then Macduff cuts his ass, whips out a second dagger.
It's pretty bad, not gonna lie. But then basically after Macduff says his thing, Macbeth is all like, you're wasting your time, man. Your sword can't do like, go right ahead. Like, come at me, Like, come at me.
And then Macduff is all like, I bet. And he whips out a second dagger. And then he has two daggers. And then it's about to go down.
Word.
Anyways, that's what happens. Anyways, did you hear that quote? You hear that quote from the movie? Alright, now let's get into this.
Alright, let's talk a little bit about what exactly happens in this scene. And what they're actually saying. Because we all know that Shakespearean English is a grind to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, basically, Macduff is pretty cheesed. Probably because Macbeth had his entire family and just about everybody in his castle killed. I don't know about you, but that would make me kind of mad.
Of course. Anyways, Macbeth tries to talk to him and he's all like, bro, I don't want to talk to you right now. I just want to fight. He wants his sword to do the talking and he calls Macbeth a bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Interesting. I want my sword to do the talking, and a bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Bloodier?
Swords? There's a lot of blood and swords in this play, and this final climax is no different than the rest of the scenes. So let's peruse through some more and see what we can find. What do you say?
Of course, yeah. Sure. So now we've gotten ourselves into the murder scene.
Which you don't actually see in the play, but you see it in the movie, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's one of those scenes that it's like, when you watch it in the movie, it's like, holy shit, that actually just happened. But when you're reading in the book, it's kind of like...
It's not a big deal.
Like, yeah, it's just King Duncan. Like, he didn't even play a big part in the book. So, like...
It's just King Duncan.
Yeah,
it's just the King of Scotland. Like, who cares about the King of Scotland, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
Macbeth is where it's at. So,
all right, anyways. So this scene starts with Macbeth seeing a floating dagger. Dagger? Yeah.
Dagger.
A floating dagger.
Dagger.
Strange. Now, basically, after Macbeth sees this dagger, he's like, what the actual is going on? And he's like...
Is this a dagger which I see before me?
Yeah, and then this damn bell rings, and then Macbeth is like, aight, little bitch, it's time to die.
So Macbeth goes to kill Duncan, then he stabs him a lot.
Yeah, and then he's like, bro, okay, listen, I just stabbed you, wasn't expecting that much blood, but holy that's a lot of blood.
Yeah. And then,
Macbeth is like, dang, what happens if I stab you more? And King Duncan's like, I bet there'll be a lot more blood. And then, what happens?
blood!
Blood!
Dagger. Blood. Dagger. Blood.
Blood!
Yeah, a lot of blood. Now, though we may not see this scene in the play like we mentioned before, the murder is talked about quite a bit by Macbeth and his wife. This is probably the most blatant reference to the whole dagger blood thing in the whole play.
All right, so here we have this floating ghost dagger. Where the did this come from? And Macbeth asked the question, is this a dagger, which I see before me? And the dagger represents Macbeth's desires, his violent intentions, blah, 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 you get the point. But the king's blood. Damn, that's a lot of blood.
Like, a lot of blood. And the blood lasts a long time, too. I mean, for the rest of the play, Lady Macduff is forced to deal with the guilt of the murder and mentions washing the blood off of her hands.
Blood.
More than once. Now, we got daggers, we got blood, we have guilt. You're starting to get the idea. Let's keep going.
Okay, so here we have my personal favorite scene in the entire play. This is just incredible. Pure genius. Congratulations, Shakespeare. You won my heart with this scene. Anyways, so this is when Seward or Seward
Or Young Sue.
Young Sue,
My boy.
this is when he enters the damn battle.
And he dies.
Yeah, he dies. But anyways, that's beside the point. He is my favorite character in the entire play. Anyways, just get into it. So anyways, young Sue, he walked into the castle and Macbeth is just sitting there. And young Sue was like, yo, what the is your name, bro?
And Macbeth basically says, like, bro, I don't want to scare you or anything, so I'm not going to tell you my name.
And then, young Sue is like, all right, bro, what the Your name can't be any worse than the damn devil.
And then Macbeth drops the bomb. He says, my name is Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Yeah.
Anyways, so young Sue is all like, your name actually sucks so much that
Basically.
it actually pisses me off for real, dog.
And then Macbeth tries to call him out, and he's like, nah, you're just scared.
And then young Sue hits him with this terrible quote. Oh my goodness. This says,
with my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakst.
and then, goddamn, things going off, and you can even hear the music and how intense this is. Just listen. Young Sue entered the battle. Hell yeah! Anyways, he gets stabbed and yeah.
And he dies. And Macbeth calls him out, and he's like, well, you were born of a woman, so you can die.
Oh, and young Sue, he left the damn chat. God bless him. Rest in peace.
All right.
Oh shit, I was just doing my hair.
We're back. We just took a bath.
No, we did not take our bath together. As much as I am attracted to Aidan, we did not take a bath together.
We're not that close yet.
Anyways.
Well, some scene though, eh? Wow. Swords and daggers equals blood and death.
Of course.
The most important line in this scene, you probably didn't understand, but that's why we're here. To help Shakespeare make sense.
And yeah, the underlying theme of daggers, swords, violence, and blood is represented in this quote when young Sue threatens to kill Macbeth with his sword. He wants to prove Macbeth wrong and bring justice to him through his sword.
Oh, interesting.
This he makes very clear.
Now, throughout the play, the characters more often than not choose to express their anger and their feelings, not with their words, but with actions of violence. And just like with Macduff, But along with this, oftentimes when the characters do this and resort to violence for their selfish intentions, it doesn't end very well for them.
No.
Not at all.
Anyways, you want to get your throat cleared up?
Yeah.
All right, so here we have probably, it was a pretty sick scene in this play. I thought it was pretty well written. What about you?
Yeah, no, I thought it was just fine and very important too, especially for the project and the motif that we're looking at right now.
Yes, and we know, as we mentioned before, this took a very long time to get to you, but we hope it was worth it.
And if not, that's totally okay.
Yeah, we'll just
because we enjoyed making this.
Yeah, and we had fun doing it.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you know what? If you really didn't like it, then you can have us redo it, and I'm sure that
or don't.
Yeah,
or if you don't want to see any more of our work, that's
That's cool too.
That's fine.
Then we'll just stop partnering up, and that's cool. Right. Anyways, let's get into the scene. So here we have the dinner scene.
Dinner scene.
This is sick because this is where you see the true insanity of Macbeth.
The horrors of Macbeth.
Oh boy. Anyways, so Aidan, you want to start us off for this one?
All right. Well, here's how it starts. They're all chilling around the table, and Macbeth is like, "Sit down, motherfucker."
And all the lords, they're all standing there, and they're like, yeah, thanks, bruh. And they take a seat.
And Lady Macbeth is very polite about it. She's like, "Your hearts are welcome here anytime, dear lords."
And then enters this first murderer. This is the murderer.
This is the guy who killed Banquo.
This is the guy who murdered Banquo.
Holy shit, this is him.
Yeah, no, this is him. And what does Macbeth say?
Well, Macbeth, he's like, "All right, let's all get drunk as hell and have a good dinner." And then he goes to talk to the murderer.
And the murderer is like, he goes up to Macbeth and he's like, "Bruh, Banquo's dead as fuck."
And then Macbeth basically asks, "Yeah, but like, how dead is he?"
And the murderer is like, now let's just put this into a short sentence. He basically says, his throat, "I cut it like I cut my turkey before Thanksgiving dinner."
Oh, damn. That's legit.
For sure.
And then Macbeth is like, "Well, I mean, I heard you're really good at cutting turkeys. He must be really dead then. But where is Fleance?"
And the murderer kind of like looks at him and he's all like, "Yeah, he escaped or something like that. I don't know."
And then Macbeth is like, "Okay."
So the murderer, he's like, "Okay, I better bring it back on track." And he says, "Banquo is good though. I mean, he'd be real dead." And then
Macbeth's like, "We done talking now. Shut up. I'm gonna go back to my dinner."
all right, and the murderer leaves. So after that, Lady Macbeth looks around and she says, "You know what? Thanks everyone for coming." Anyways, so Lady Macbeth is all like, "Thanks everyone for coming." And they're all sitting there and they're having a good time. And then enters this ghost.
Uh-oh.
This ghost is all like, "What's good, Macbeth?"
Even though he doesn't really say anything at all, he just kind of sits there. Then Macbeth is like, but he's dead.
Yeah. And so Lady Macbeth is like, looks at Macbeth and she goes, "What's the problem, bruh? Are you a man?"
How insulting.
I
Questions
know.
his manlyhood. Jeez. Gosh.
Anyway, so this ghost leaves. He dips. He's out of here. And then Macbeth, he decides to take it to the next level, and he says this.
Blood hath been shed here now, in the olden time. The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die. And they're an end. But now they rise again and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
And then Lady Macbeth is all like, "Macbeth, you are lacking."
And Macbeth is all like, "Shiz. Maybe I am."
And then the ghost comes back. Of course he does. And Macbeth is like, "Nah, I swear this motherfucker's sitting right there." And he's like, "You know what, screw it. Let's give a toast to Banquo, and perhaps some of my guilt will go away."
And all the lords, out of sync. Here,
Completely out of sync.
If we can find the audio recording of this in the audio recording that we listened to in class,
We will put it in.
this is way out of sync.
It's
I don't know,
terrible.
like, dude,
It's
like
terrible.
it's terrible. Like, I don't know if like these guys even like knew what the fuck they were doing back in Macbeth's time, but man, they were way out of sync. Anyway, so the ghost it leaves. He leaves.
And Macbeth is just like, "Holy, I am paranoid."
All right, and Lady Macbeth is all like, "Well, you should probably go to bed." What a scene!
Macbeth is quite the character, I gotta say. Everyone's just chilling at the dinner having a good time, and he can't stop talking about blood.
Blood!
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 Alright, now, we were gonna film this scene just like we were gonna film all the rest of the scenes too, but we did have some technical difficulties, as we said.
Well, we hope that you don't take off too many marks, and we've mentioned it before, because we didn't do exactly what we said we were going to do. You know, okay, but for real though, this scene, it's meant to really emphasize the paranoia, the paranoia.
That's
I
better.
swear to God, this isn't scripted. I swear to God. Macbeth is experiencing from this guilt that he has built up through the play.
That was good. You're looking right at the camera there. That was great. No, anyways, so here we have Shakespeare bringing in more talk of blood and death, and it's all that Macbeth can think about. And so the reader can really feel the underlying theme here. You know, whether they're aware of it or not, they're still seeing it. They're still getting it, right? Darkness and death are taking over the mood of the play now.
Okay, now let's sum this all up. I'm running out of time, as you can see, 11:06. And I need to be at my tetherball practice in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So, I hope at this point you've gotten the general idea of what we're trying to get across.
Now, if you don't, that's not our problem, because we're not getting paid for this, so we don't really care. Anyways, the motif of blood and daggers and death and stuff is everywhere. See you later, Carter. It's everywhere in this play. And there's many more times where it appears, we just didn't include them because the assignment only asked for 4 quotes. This motif helps us identify the theme of guilt. Okay, we're done.